Okay, so we are here in week 4, and we're getting towards the end of our course. So what I'm doing this week is I'm covering all the rest of our material because next week is our last week of class, and it's kind of cut short because next Thursday, which is August 8th, wait, no, it's August 6th. August 6th is going to be the last day for anything, for you to check grades, for me to talk with you or turn in anything. So because next week is a short week, what I decided to do was to finish all of our material this week in our video lessons, and then you guys can have the weekend and the first part of next week to really get in there and study what you need to study and get all your work done. So that being said, today we're going to do our last novel discussion, and we're going to look at textbook chapters 7 and 8, which is what you are assigned to do this week. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So what are we doing? First, we'll look at announcements and do a little review. Then we'll talk about the novel, and towards the end, we'll cover chapters 7 and 8 of our textbook. So, did I skip something? Yes, I did. Hold on. Okay, so announcements. This week, we don't have a chapter in vocabulary to cover. As you guys know, we already covered chapters 9, 10, and 11 of vocabulary. So I will answer any questions you have about the words. Feel free to ask questions, but we're technically done with vocabulary. This week, the assignment is sort of a review assignment, and I've posted it in Blackboard. What you're going to do is tell me a story, something that happened to you in your life. It can be something as simple as a vacation that you took, or the place that you grew up, the day you got married. I mean, it could be any story, but I want you to look through all of our words for chapters 9, 10, and 11 and try to use some of those words in your story, okay? It doesn't matter how many words you use, but it's just a practice to see if you can use the words. And then I'm not going to grade it, but I am going to give you feedback and correct your sentences for you and kind of show you more on how to use those words. Okay, so it's important to learn vocabulary, but not just learning the definition, right? You want to know how to use it. So this is your assignment to practice that. All of that's posted in Blackboard, and I also gave you an example in there, which is a true story. It's a story about when I went to Mexico, so you can read that in Blackboard. The second thing this week is your novel writing assignment. Okay, so this is kind of a practice for the quiz next week. Okay, I've given you 3 themes or topics in Blackboard, and then you're just going to pick one and kind of explain it. Explain why you believe that's true, give some details from the novel. So this writing assignment this week is not for a grade. It's just, again, to practice writing about what you've learned from the novel. Okay, so that's in Blackboard as well. And then also on Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning, we're going to do our last video lesson, which will be over chapters 9 and 12 of the textbook. Okay, any questions about
this Thursday, teacher?
What's that?
Is your last video this Thursday?
Yeah, I decided to do all the content videos this week because if you remember, next Thursday is our last day of class.
Quiz is right.
It's what?
It will be just the quiz is right, the
Right.
textbook quiz and the novel. Okay.
Right. Next week you will actually do textbook quiz, novel quiz, and your chapter 9 and 12 quizzes. So the reason I'm posting the video this Thursday is because I want to give you the weekend to read chapters 9 and 12, and then you can watch the video again if you need to or whatever. You have extra time. I didn't want to wait until next week to cover chapter 9 and 12 because then you would only have 1 or 2 days to turn in your quiz. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so yeah, it was sort of a last minute decision, but I think it's in your best interest to give you guys time because I know some of you work and you only have like Sunday off, so you need to get your work done on Sunday or whatever. Um, so I wanted to give you that extra time to prepare. So this week you only need to do chapters 7 and 8 quizzes as far as the textbook. Okay. Next week you do chapters 9 and 12 quizzes. Okay. But I'm doing the video this week. Does that make sense?
Yes, and teacher, do we gonna have a last quiz for textbook or we don't? We don't gonna have.
A last quiz for the textbook. You mean like some kind of test over everything in all the chapters?
Yeah, like a general test of the textbook.
No, I'm not going to do that. I think that's torture. That's
Yeah, thank you. I
that
was
is
afraid
really
because
tough. Yeah, that's really tough. That's so we'd have a lot of quizzes, but it's designed to just do one chapter at a time. And no, I'm not going to give you a quiz over all of those chapters. No. So whatever's posted in Blackboard, that's what I'm grading. If you want to go back, and you can even look at your grade book and you can see what the grades that I posted, and you can see what's coming up in the future. And I'm not going to surprise you with, oh, here's a big test over, 8, 9 different chapters all in one now.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you for doing that for us.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's hard enough to just do these online classes and not see me, and this is hard enough. I'm trying to make it a little bit easier for you guys. Okay. Do you guys like these video lessons? Are they helpful?
Yes, a lot.
Okay, are they
They're
too
very
long?
helpful.
Some other instructors just do 5-minute videos and post them like every week, but I like to do just all at once. Do you like the long ones or short ones?
Like, I think you're doing well with the longer because I'm taking another class and that class each video is two hours and a half, so I prefer
Whoa.
just one. Yes.
And can you join the video? Is it live or it's like pre-recorded and then posted?
Like it's no, the instructor don't record the session, so I need to be there for 2 hours.
Oh, oh my
Yeah,
gosh, that is
that's
so
hard.
tough. Okay. Well, I don't mean to, this is not like a negative comments on other teacher time, but I do like to know what works and what doesn't work for my students because in the fall I'll be teaching again and I want to do what's best for students. So that's good that you said that. And T, you as well, add some comments if you like the videos, if they're a little bit too long for you or you need more, put your comments in there and I will look at that when I plan for fall. Okay. So let's continue here. Next week. Okay. Remember, next week is our last week to turn in stuff. So all of your textbook quizzes and your labs. Okay. The textbook quizzes 1 through, we didn't do chapter 1. Sorry. Textbook quizzes, chapter 2 through chapter 8. Okay, that's due August 4th, which is Tuesday. All right. And then our novel quiz, your lab assignment, and vocabulary quiz, all of those will be due by August 4th. So basically, 95% of your stuff is due August 4th, which is Tuesday, next Tuesday. Okay. Now, I'm giving you one extra day for that textbook chapter 9 and 12. I'll give you until Wednesday because I know that that one is really the last thing that we're working on. Okay, chapters 9 and 12. So hopefully that's not too confusing. It's all in Blackboard. If you just follow the weeks, look in the folder, everything will be posted. Just make sure you're doing it. And email me if you still have a question, like what is due and when, and you can still email me. Okay. We're going to go on to the novel. Let's talk about the novel. I'm so excited that we're almost done with the novel. And this week, you're going to finish the last few chapters and see what's going to happen with Arthur and Hester. So I'm not going to give away very many clues because I want you to finish it. And finishing it will really help you with the quiz next week. Okay, so you can have a full understanding of the story. It's kind of interesting what happens in the end. So what we're going to do today is look at the theme that I believe is one of the strongest themes from the book. Okay, and you guys gave some great comments in the lab assignment last week. I appreciate what you said about what was happening in the book and what you thought about it. You gave your opinions, which was great. So I haven't seen anybody. I mean, Alan, I think you posted something about a theme. Yeah, you used shame. Yeah, I remember that. So that one was good. I appreciate that. It's difficult to understand themes. And this is just a really brief introduction to themes in our course. Okay, you'll learn a lot more about those when you take English 1301, 1302, your regular academic English courses. But here's my analysis of the book. So I chose the theme of dark and light because I see that a lot throughout the book. You remember last week we talked about sunshine, the sunshine in the forest, and how Hester, wherever she would go, the sunshine would go away from her. But there was sunshine on her daughter, Pearl. And we kind of talked about that a little bit. That is a reference to this theme of the light and the dark. And I want to talk about 3 different scenes here. Do you guys remember the scaffold? And once again, this is a picture on the right side. This is a scaffold here. And kind of a picture of Hester, Arthur, and Pearl. And a scaffold is a symbol of punishment, shame, guilt, and crimes. If you did a big crime in the town, they would put you up there on the scaffold and say, look at them, look what they did. So what happened, there's a couple of different scaffold scenes. If you go back to the beginning, who was the first person in our story that got on the scaffold? Do you guys remember?
Hester?
Yeah, it was Hester. Remember the first couple of chapters? She got up there.
Yeah.
Was it daytime or nighttime?
I think it was a day. Yeah, it was day because all town people was there. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So she was up there in the shame during the day in the light. Okay. Now, another person also went to the scaffold, Arthur. Okay, and that's what this picture is on the right side. This is when Arthur went up there first, and then Hester and Pearl, he invited them up there and they walked up there too, right? Now, was this at
Yes.
the daytime or nighttime?
It was nighttime.
It was at night. Right. So this is a symbol to me, or this is a reflection of this theme of dark and light. So Hester's sin was out in the open. It was out. Everybody could see it. That's like her on the scaffold in the day. Arthur's sin and guilt was still hidden, and he went to the scaffold at night, and he didn't want anybody to see him. Remember that? He was afraid somebody was going to see him. So that's a theme, because you can see it comes up a couple of different times in the story, this dark and light. The dark represents being hidden, nobody can see, guilty, shameful. The light represents people can see, it's open, and sometimes light represents goodness as well, like sunshine. Okay. So that's what we can do. That's an example of analyzing the theme of dark and light. Now let's look at this one, the sexton and the black glove. Remember, a sexton is a person who kind of works in the church, like a deacon or, a helper. And he found the black glove. It was a glove that Arthur left on the scaffold when he was there at night. Okay. So I want to look at that, show you guys a couple of things. And then we're going to look also at this sunshine reference in the story. Okay, so let me pull up. Does anybody have questions so far or comments? Something you want to add while I'm looking for this file here? Any questions?
No, no questions.
Does that make sense when I say dark and light?
Yes, yes, it makes sense.
Okay. Okay, so this is in the chapter about when the minister went to the scaffold. Arthur went to the scaffold in the nighttime, okay? And then the next day, it was the Sabbath, and Arthur was going to preach a sermon. And then it says, the gray-bearded sexton met him, holding up a black glove. The minister recognized it as his own. It was found this morning. So now that's in the light again, right? Now the light is out and they found this glove. Satan dropped it there as a joke against your reverence. And he says, can you guys see my screen? Can you see
Yes, teacher, I'm able to see your screen.
Okay, because sometimes I'm talking and then it's like, wait, we can't.
No.
Okay, so the sexton said, your hand needs no glove to cover it. Basically, this is implying you are so holy, you're such a saint. You don't need anything to cover you. Okay, remember, covering is like being in the dark. You don't need anything. You're just so much in the light. They just misjudged him as this great, open, wonderful person, but they didn't know about what was in his heart in the dark. And then this is where they mentioned they saw this letter A in the sky. The sexton thought of it as A for angel, but of course Arthur saw that A in the sky as meaning adulterer. It made him feel even more guilty when he saw the A in the sky. Okay, so that's a little bit eye-opening there for them. But again, we have dark and light, the theme. And let me show you, let's kind of fast forward a little bit in the forest. And I think it's over here. Make sure I have my page here. Okay, so right here we have Hester and Arthur in the forest, and she took off her scarlet letter, okay, which was kind of a big moment in the story. They're sitting down in the forest, and she rips off her scarlet letter, and in this time in this conversation, remember they talked about getting out of this area, going back to Europe. And so up here at the top, they made that decision to kind of escape together. And here's the brightness, which is the light. This is Arthur, and he said, a glow of strange enjoyment threw its flickering brightness over his troubled soul. So light is starting to come into his heart, his life. Okay. And then Hester takes off her scarlet letter. Okay. And then at the top here, it says she felt the burden of shame depart from her spirit. Okay. And so what happens after this? They both decide, hey, let's leave this place together. We don't need to be guilty and be shamed here anymore. And then look in the middle of this page. It says, as if responding to these two mortal hearts, the gloom of the earth and sky vanished with their sorrow. All at once, as with a sudden smile from heaven, what happened? Can you guys read it?
Sure, sorry.
I'm looking in the middle, this yellow highlighted place. Here, let me see. Can you see the pointer?
Yes, yes.
So
All
it
this
says,
function,
mm-hmm.
all this function is that burst or
Burst,
and
yeah. It
burst.
exploded.
Okay, burst forth, poning. Poning, is that poning? Sorry.
Pouring, like pouring a glass of water. Pouring.
Pouring a very flood of light into the obscure forest. The I can't read. The ephemerally shadow
Formerly.
objects. No, it's
Is it hard to read it? I don't know how big your screen is.
yeah, yeah, it's hard to read.
Okay, I'll read it. It says the
It's
formerly.
because I think it's because I'm taking it.
Okay, I'll read it, no problem. It says the
Okay,
formerly
okay.
shadowy objects embodied brightness now. So once again, do you see my references here? We're talking about sunshine, light, and brightness. 3 references to this light. Okay, so they were in the dark, in the shadows, and then they decided to, kind of release their shame and let it go. And Hester took off her letter A and threw it down. And then both of them got into the sunshine. The sunshine just came into the forest and they felt free, basically, or they felt, the burden of shame was gone. So this is my reference of why I believe that dark and light is a theme of the story. Okay. Any questions about that?
No, teacher, no questions.
No.
Okay, good. So I don't expect you to be experts on themes in this level, but you need to start kind of, when you're reading a book, I want you to start looking for patterns. Like me, I just read, oh, here's sunshine. Oh, here's daytime. Here's dark. Here's light again. Okay, that's probably a theme. Okay. And then I have a question for you guys to discuss for a moment. We saw what happened in the forest where they decided to, Hester and Arthur kind of reconciled and, talked together. What do you think about this? Have Arthur and Hester both found freedom? Do you think that they found true freedom? Why or why not? Anybody's free to share.
Yeah, I think the only one who felt freedom was Hester. Well, Hester and Pearl, because when Hester found Arthur in forest, he was talking and he was expressing that he was feeling guilty
Mm-hmm.
because Pearl and yeah, because he couldn't tell Pearl, and he couldn't be Pearl father, or give to Hester a
Yeah.
better life, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then Hector found him and told that he didn't he, he didn't need to feel guilty, because they'll be good together. And
Yeah.
then Hester tried to introduce Pearl like his daughter.
Yeah. So you think Hester has more freedom now because it's like he recognized her child and he wanted to meet her and she felt better. She threw off her letter A. And but you think
Yes,
okay, you think Arthur maybe is still not in real freedom?
yeah, because he still need to fix the problem with his daughter Pearl. I
Oh, okay.
think it's because he can freedom.
Okay. That's interesting. What do you think, T? Do you want to add any ideas, T? Nothing? Okay. And you can also type in the chat box if you want to add any comments. I think they both found freedom in the forest. But Arthur, in order to complete his freedom, he needed to go back to the town and tell the people what really happened because he found some kind of freedom in that little relationship there with Hester and Pearl. And but with the rest of the world, he was still living in kind of like living in the dark, right? They didn't know who he really was or what really happened. So, but I do think that they found some freedom there. But it's interesting because Hester put the A back on before she left the forest, right? At first, I thought, oh, good, the A's gone, so forget about it. But before she left the forest, she put it back on. And
Yes,
why? That's my next question. Let's talk about Pearl for a second. What happened in the forest with Pearl and Hester?
I still need to read that. I think it's in chapter 20, and I'm still
Okay.
in chapter 19. But I know Hester put down the letter, and then
Hmm.
when Pearl is coming to Arthur and Hester,
Hmm.
Hester Hester told Pearl that if 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 she could bring with them the letter, because it was in the forest.
Yeah, and do you remember that Pearl refused to come to Hester and talk to Arthur in the
Yes.
forest
Hmm.
because she was shaking her head no. She wanted that letter A to be back on her mom. Kind of interesting. It's like she only knew
Yeah.
her mom. She only knew her
Mhm.
mom to be that way. You know, maybe nowadays it would be like if I decided to shave my head and get a wig, you know, of pink hair or
Yes.
something. And my daughter's like, no, 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 no. Maybe she starts crying or whatever.
You're
No,
not my mom.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So it adds another element to the story because Pearl is kind of like it represents kind of the people, the people in a way. She's like, no, I don't recognize you this way. You know, you need to go back to the way you were. But it's kind of interesting relationship that Pearl has with Arthur and Hester. So yeah, so they end up leaving the forest, and in the next few chapters, you're going to see what Arthur decides to do. He makes some big decisions, and then something big happens at the end of the story. Okay, so keep reading
Very
that.
cool. Yeah, I'll keep
Suspense.
it.
Okay, any questions about the novel up to this point? Anything confusing in the book or something you want to talk about before we go to our textbook? Okay. T's good. Alan,
Yeah,
any
me
questions?
too. Me too, teacher. No.
Okay.
Still no questions.
Okay, good. So next week, your novel quiz, you're going to have 2 questions. Questions that I have not told you. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but you'll see at the end of the week. I'll post those. You'll have 2 questions. You're only going to pick 1 question and answer it. So remember that for the novel quiz. You pick 1 question and answer it. And last semester, one student answered both questions, and I marked off some points because she did not go into depth, like a lot of details for one question. Instead, she did both questions and she just gave one detail for each question. And I don't want that. I want you to pick one question and then give me a lot of details. Okay? So
Okay.
that's what's coming up. Remember that. Let's go to chapter 7 in our book. Okay, so get your books out and let's open to page 250. Wait, am I in the right one? Yeah, page 245. Let's look at page 245. We're looking at patterns of organization. And chapter 7 and 8 are both about patterns of organization. So what does that mean if I say patterns of organization? It means the way that the sentences and the information is organized in a paragraph or in an article. Okay, so how does the author put it together in a clear way? There's different ways to organize information to make it clear and easy to understand. And so this chapter talks about chronological pattern, the process pattern, and the listing pattern. So what I want to do is just go over some of the difficult parts of these 3 patterns. Okay. Chronological and process are both time order. So time order means there's a sequence. First, this happens, then this happens. Like if I said, what's your morning routine? Well, first I get up, then I brush my teeth, then I eat breakfast, then I exercise, and then I get ready for work or whatever, right? That's like 5 things I do every morning. That would be in time order. Okay? So chronological and process are time order, but they're not exactly the same. So how are they different? Chronological is like telling a story. So the example I just gave is chronological. First I get up, then I brush my teeth, then I eat breakfast. Da, da, da. I'm telling you the story in the order of time. That's chronological. Process is more of steps or how to do something. So what are like if I said, how do you register for an ESOL class? What are the steps? Well, first, you need to look at the schedule, right? Make sure that you know what class you want to take. Then you fill out the registration form. Then you turn it in and you pay for it, right? And after that, you check your schedule in Blackboard and check where your class is going to be, blah, 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 right? So that's telling you how to do something. It still has
Like a
time.
list?
It's kind of like a list, but it's in the order of time. Like if I'm registering for a class, can I say, well, first you go to class? No, that's not the first step. Or can I say, first you pay? No, that's not the first step. It has to be in order of time. First, you have to look at the schedule online and choose your class. Then you can register and pay, right? That means it's steps in order. So process is also a time order, but it's specifically how to do something, how to accomplish something. Chronological is not really accomplishing anything, it's just telling you what happens. Like chronological would be, okay, tell me about your trip to the United States. Well, first I got on the plane, and then I tried to order a drink, but I couldn't speak English well enough. And so I was thirsty. And then we landed at the airport. And then I got lost, or whatever. That's chronological because I'm just telling you the story. I'm not telling you how to do something. So do you guys see the difference?
Yes. Yes, teacher.
Okay. So let's look at the practice. I have two topics here, and we're going to decide together, is this a chronological pattern or is this topic a process pattern? So what if the topic is 10 steps to getting a job? Would that be chronological or process?
A process, I
Okay, T,
think.
what do you think? You can put P for process or C for chronological.
Can you ask again?
Okay, the question is, if you look down here on the left of the screen, this is a topic, 10 steps to getting a job. That's my
Yes.
topic. Is this topic going to be for a chronological pattern of organization, if I write the paragraph, or is it going to be the process pattern of organization?
I think it's the process.
Yes, it's a process. It's in time order. You have to follow a specific order, but it's not telling a story. It's telling you how to do something, what you need to do, right? 10 steps to getting a job. The first step might be to look online for different positions, The second step would be organize your resume, prepare your resume. The third step would be apply for the job, and so on and so on, right? So that is a process pattern of organization. Okay, what about this second topic? It says, my first day at work. Is that going to be
I
chronological?
think that,
This story.
yeah, chronological because it's like a story.
Chronological.
Yeah. Yeah, chronological. You see this prefix chrono. Chrono means time. So I think they even have a watch brand that's called Chronos. It's a Latin word for time. I believe it's Latin, maybe Greek. I don't know, but so we're talking about a story. This is just a story. What happens? What happened on this day? So that would be a chronological pattern. Okay. And there's more examples in your book, so you guys will be able to read those and compare the difference, chronological and process. Let's go to this third pattern, which is called listing. Now, this one is confusing to students because they say, well, isn't everything a list? Like if I said 10 steps to getting a job, isn't that a list? 10 things you do, right? And Alan, you even said, isn't it like a list? Right?
Yeah, I say that.
But let's look at page 257. Let's look over there real quick. 257, and look at the bottom.
Listing, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so Alan, can you read the first two sentences where it says, although writers.
Yes, although writers often want to put events or items in a specific time sequence, sometimes they just want to list them. Then listing then is used when a particular order isn't so important.
Okay, good. So underline that or highlight that. particular order, that means a specific order, is not important. Okay, this is different from the chronological and process. Chronological and process, oh, they have to be in time order, right? Listing, it is not in time order. So how do those topics look different? Let's look at the example at the bottom of page 257. Do you see the yellow box? It says example.
Yes.
Okay, and it's kind of short. That's why I picked this one. So I'm just going to read it quickly. You guys can kind of follow with me. It says, the city of San Antonio, Texas offers many attractions for visitors. I would circle that word, many attractions. Why? Why am I circling that word or those words?
Because it said you, is it going to tell you something?
Yeah, those are key words right there. This is a main idea sentence. Many attractions. So this is going to be about different attractions or popular places to go in San Antonio, okay? And then it says one famous site is the Alamo, the 18th century Spanish mission that had a historical role in Texas Revolution against Mexico, okay? Another, there's a transition again, another San Antonio highlight is much more modern, the Riverwalk, a shopping, dining, and entertainment promenade situated along the San Antonio River. So far we've got the Alamo and we've got the Riverwalk. Those are two attractions for visitors, places to go. All right. And then it says, for those interested in wildlife, the San Antonio Zoo and Aquarium houses more than 3,500 animals from 750 species. Visitors may also want to take in the scenery and beauty of the Japanese tea gardens next door to the zoo. So here we have, again, we've got the San Antonio Zoo and Aquarium. And then the last one is the Japanese tea gardens. So what we see from this is this paragraph mentions 4 different attractions for visitors. All right. Now, are they in time order? Like, do we have to put the Alamo first? What do you think in our paragraph? Do we have to put it first?
No, it didn't use any chronological or process way to put the activities. It
That's
just gives
right.
example.
It just gives 4 different places to go. It does not mean that you have to do the Alamo first. Okay, we could say one famous site is the San Antonio Zoo and Aquarium, right? I could put that one first if I wanted to. That is the listing pattern. There's not a specific sequence or order. All right. Any questions about that?
No questions.
Okay.
So I'm not clearly about a specific sequence.
You said it has to be, or it has to what?
So I mean, I'm not clearly about that.
About the listing?
Yes.
Okay, let's try this. Where did it go? Nope, that's not. How do I get to? Let's see if I can pull up the whiteboard. Where's the whiteboard? I haven't used it all this class. I forgot where it is. I know it's here somewhere. No, I was trying to show you. I thought it would be here in the whiteboard. Well, okay, until I can find it. Oh, there it is. Okay, so let me just type on here. Pretend this is in class and I'm writing on the board. if I have time order, okay, that means that only one specific thing can be first, okay? And then only one specific. You know what sequence means, T? Sequence?
Yes.
Okay, so sequence means it's connected. You cannot take number 4 in the sequence and then try to put it as number 1. It can't be there. You have to have it in a specific order. You can't switch it around. So an example of time order topic would be steps to getting a visa to come to the United States. Is it okay for me to just say, you know what, guys, I'm going to the I'm going to the United States. I heard there's a really good teacher over there at TCC. I'm going to go take her class. And you just go to the airport. Here's my ticket. Let me on the plane. I'm going to the United States. Will they let you on the plane? No. They want to see documentation, right?
Yes.
If you're going to come to the United States. So you can't take step 5, which is getting on the plane, and try to put it as number 1. You can't do that. You have to follow a specific order. First, you do the application and you pay for that application, right? Then they call you and you go and do your interview, right? That is time order. Okay? Do you get that?
Yes.
Okay, so when we talk about listing, the key thing to remember is you can switch the major details around. You can switch the major details around. Okay? So, like in this paragraph about San Antonio, we can use the Riverwalk and we could put that first if we want to. Or we can put the Riverwalk at the end of the paragraph, the last thing. That's okay.
Yeah, yes, yes. Okay.
Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, example topic, 3 places I love to visit. I like to go to California, I like to go to the zoo, and I like to go to the Trinity Park, you know, but they're not in a specific order. I can do the park first, I can write about the zoo second if I want, or I can write about the zoo first. There's no time order. Okay? All right, good question. I like your question. Okay, any other questions?
No.
Okay, good. So keep that in mind when you're going over these chapters, okay? They can be a little bit confusing sometimes. Let's look at our PowerPoint page here again. I want you guys to give me some example topics for listing, a listing pattern. If I wanted to make a paragraph that's a listing pattern of organization, what can a topic be? Do you have any ideas?
What do you need to do if you go to Mexico? If you visit Mexico?
Okay, what do you need to do if you visit Mexico?
Yes.
Right? Okay, good. Like maybe one thing would be know some words in Spanish, like el baño, right?
Yeah.
And ayúdame, which is really important too.
Yes.
Okay, so el baño is bathroom and ayúdame is help me.
Help me.
So those are important things to know. But yeah, I'm just joking. But yeah, important things to know before you go to Mexico. Yeah, you need to know about safety. You need to know about the food, and some of the customs. Yeah,
A
I think
few
that's
laws or rules we have.
the laws, the rules. Yeah. Basically, if you see a stop sign, just keep driving. That's one of the rules in Mexico. Don't worry about stop
Don't stop,
signs.
please.
When I went to Mexico, I was like, wait, what is
Low
everybody
horizontal.
doing on these streets? I mean, people were just going wherever they wanted to go. But
Yeah.
that's that's only in maybe one or two towns, right? Not the whole country. So,
Mhm. Yes, yes.
but yeah,
You too, Tom.
that's a good example. Okay, T, do you want to give us an idea of another topic?
Um, so, uh, so I want, um, so I want a symbol for listing.
Yeah, listing, example listing topic. Like think about a number, like 3 things or 3 ways or 3 reasons.
So if I want to be, if I want to be swimming, I
Mm-hmm.
need to do clean about how to swimming and
Mm-hmm.
prepare the swim pool, swim zone, and
Swimsuit? Mm-hmm.
yes, and try to play to swim, try the
Okay.
place.
Okay. I like that. So your topic is um, how to prepare for how to prepare to swim or the
Yeah,
things you need to know before you swim.
yeah,
All right. Now, the question you can ask yourself to say, wait, is this a process or is this listing? If you can move your major details in any order, then that will be listing. But if the details have to be in a specific order, that would be process. Okay, so for the swimming thing, if I say get a swimsuit,
yeah.
learn how to swim, and choose a place, is it okay if I say choose a place, learn how to swim, and get a swimsuit? Can we move those ideas around in a paragraph? What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably. So we could say that was listing.
Yes.
All right, good. Any other questions or ideas about this?
No.
Okay, so in your homework, like if you look at page 259, let me show you how your homework, what it's going to look like. Page 259. See, they give you a paragraph. They put it in dark letters. The federal government has a handful of government corporations. Page 259. Okay. This is a paragraph about government corporations. Let's see if we can skim it really quickly. Skimming means just go really quickly. Don't read every word. I want you to tell me if you think this is chronological order or process or listing. What do you think?
I think it is chronological. No, process, a process, I think.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think the process.
Okay.
No.
Well, it says first, they provide a service that could be handled in the sector. Second, they charge for their services.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have to put those in that order?
No, we don't. We don't need, I
I
think.
don't think we do, even though it says first and second. First and second does not mean it has to be time order. First and second does not mean it has to be listing. Okay? We use first and second for a lot of different things. So, okay, well, there's one that I didn't talk about yet, and it's definition. Definition is when they have a word and then they're giving you like a definition or explanation about that word. This one is going to be definition. Okay, it's just only talking about government corporations. It's not in time order. So definition examples are over there on page 250. So that's usually when they give you a vocabulary word, you know, some kind of word, and then they explain more about it. Okay, so this one I believe is definition. Okay, and sometimes it can be challenging to find out what it is. I agree. But turn the page, look at page 260. You see the outline that's for you of the paragraph. And they have the main idea and they have two of the major details. How they're similar to private corporations, 3 examples. So that tells me right there, this is a definition of government corporations, and then they're explaining it by talking about how it's similar to private corporations, and then they give you examples of it. So I would say that it's that. Okay. Yeah. So I just wanted to show you what it looks like if we're questions about it. Okay. Let's go on to chapter 8, which we're still talking about patterns of organization. But these are going to be 3 other kinds. Okay. Are we ready? Okay, chapter 8. Let's look over at page 290. 290. All right, so we've got comparison, contrast. Can you guys say comparison?
Comparison.
Good. No, that's a hard word in Spanish. And then contrast.
Contrast.
Good. Okay, so comparison and contrast, difference between these two. Well, comparison is a pattern of organization where you're showing how things are alike or almost the same. Contrast is when you're showing how things are different. So think of comparison, same, contrast. All right. So let's look at 2 examples on your screen on the left. Example 1, it says, my sister and I both live in the same city. Is this a sentence of comparison or contrast? What do you think?
It is comparison.
Okay, why? Why do you say that?
Because it shows that they are like same things that they're living in the same city.
Yeah, it shows how they're both live in the same place. So that's something that's similar or the same between these 2 people. Comparison. Okay. You notice the word both. Okay. Look at page 290 in the blue box. The blue box at the top. Do you see the word both?
Yes.
Yep. And it's in that
Mm-hmm.
section with to show similarities, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you see that, T?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that's comparison. Now look at the second example. It says, despite our different personalities, we get along well. Do you see a key word in this sentence that tells you it's going to be comparison or contrast?
Yes.
Different.
Different is
Yeah,
the keyword.
despite. Dis-
Despite.
Despite is the word. And different, yeah. But actually both of these words, I gave you two. Yeah. And that's going to be a sentence of contrast. So what does it mean? It's showing that we have different personalities. I am more quiet and my sister is more outgoing and talkative. So that's our differences. And yes, that's going to be contrast. Okay. So let's do one or two practices on page 290. Look in the middle of the. Do you see that paragraph there? The practice, it says, although beagles and basset hounds are different breeds, okay, we're talking about dogs here. They are what? Can you pick a word to go in that sentence?
They are similarity.
Similarity. Similarity.
Similarity.
You think similarity?
Yeah, similarity.
Okay, the word similarity, do you see how it ends with a ITY? Do you see that
Mhm.
with ITY?
Yes.
That means this is a noun. This is a noun. This is a thing. So if I use similarity in a sentence, I would say one similarity between my sister and I is our color of hair. One similarity is. Similarity has to be a thing. In this sentence, we need to use what's called an adjective. See, this is why grammar and writing are so important because it will help you when you have to fill in the blanks. Um, we cannot use similarity. We can use the word similar, but similar is not one of the choices. So we need to go over to the word alike. Do you see that word alike?
Yes. Is like an adjective? An adjective?
Yeah, alike is an adjective. How do you know it's an adjective? Because we can use it like they are alike. Or I can say you can use it to describe people and places and things. Okay? So that's my little advertisement for my grammar and writing class. Because both of you got this one wrong, which means you know kind of how the words work, but not totally. So you need more practice with nouns and adjectives there. Let's look at the next one. They are, can you guess what goes in the next blank?
Both?
Both. Yeah, both. Okay. So all of these signals in the yellow box, they're all comparison signals or transition words, but they are used differently in the sentences. Some of them are nouns, some of them are prepositions or adjectives. So we have to learn how to use that with sentence structure. Okay. That's more of a writing practice. But anyways, you guys can check your answers in the answer key for those if you want to keep practicing. You'll have your answers there. So let's go to cause and effect. This is our last topic for the lesson today. Turn over a couple of pages and look at page 294. Page 294. Look at the top. It says writers use the cause-effect pattern to explain why an event or action causes another event or action. Okay. Now here we're talking about events, but this is not the same as chronological because in cause-effect, we're focusing on why. We're focusing on the reason, the result of an action. Okay, so it's not the same as time order. And I got a couple of examples because some students get confused between the chronological and the cause effect. So let's think of cause effect. I always like to give this example. Let's think of smoking, cigarette smoking. What would be an effect of smoking cigarettes? Any ideas?
Your lungs,
Okay, what
like
happens?
like damage in your lungs, in your lung.
Yes, that would be an effect of smoking. So the cause would be smoking cigarettes. The effect would be lung damage, or maybe you could say lung cancer,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Now let's turn that around a little bit. What is one of the causes of smoking? Let's say an effect would be smoking cigarettes. What would be a reason that people smoke cigarettes?
Some people say that stress is a reason for smoke.
Yeah, stress. Okay, so you just lost your job, or
Or
your teacher gave you an extra quiz to do and you weren't ready for it. You grab a cigarette,
a
right?
surprise quiz. No, no.
Right. You see, I'm trying to help you in your lungs. I'm not giving surprise quizzes. Um, but that's so sometimes the cause of smoking is stress. Stress or fear, anxiety can be a cause, and the effect can be smoking cigarettes. So I'm stressed out, so the best thing I can do is smoke, right? We can create cause-effect relationships out of a lot of different things. So a lot of things in our life are cause-effect, but not everything. Some things are just time order. Like example of chronological. I woke up this morning, I had toast and eggs for breakfast, and I rode my bike around the block. That is not cause effect because I cannot say, oh, the cause is I eat breakfast and the effect is I ride my bike. No, because those two are not connected with reason. Okay, so think of cause effect as a special kind of relationship. It has to be a reason. Like, why do you have lung cancer? Oh, because I smoked. That's cause effect. Why did you ride your bike? Oh, because I ate breakfast. No, that doesn't work. You see? Do you guys understand?
Yes. Yeah, yes.
Okay. Let's look at these examples on my page here. And my picture kind of cut out some of these, but it's the first one says the region got more than 20 inches of rain in just 2 weeks. So mudslides began to develop. This is a picture of a mudslide. Okay, it's when a lot of dirt comes down a mountain. Okay, usually it covers some roads and stuff. So is this cause and effect? What do you think?
Yeah, it is cause and effect because the rain, I think the rain was the cause, and the effect was the mudslides.
Yeah. So that means I can say why. I can answer the question why. Why were there mudslides? Because this area got a lot of rain. Okay, so this is connected by cause and effect. It is also in time order, right? First the rain and then the mudslide, but it's more than that. It's a special kind called cause and effect. Let's look at the second one. It says, I ate breakfast and then I cleaned the house. I ate breakfast, then I cleaned the house. Is that cause and effect?
No, it isn't. Because the breakfast and cleaning the house don't have a connection between them. Like,
Right, it's not a
yeah, they're
reason.
not connected.
Right, it's not a reason and result. Like if I say, well, why did you clean the house? Oh, because I ate breakfast. No, it's not really a good answer to the question. So this shows us that it's not cause effect. So the second sentence is going to be time order, or you could say chronological. Okay? Anybody have question about that?
No, no questions, teacher.
No.
Okay? Okay, good. So we went a little bit longer today, but we covered a lot of material. So we are actually done for today. I already asked you guys a little bit about how you like the videos, and that was my survey of instruction because I want to see how you guys like the way this class was set up. I would really appreciate it if you have time, if you send me an email and say, yeah, teacher, I really liked the lab assignments and I liked the video, but I didn't like the chapter quizzes, or I really liked the Blackboard. It was easy to use. Whatever your comments are about the class, I would love it if you'd send me an email this week or next week because I'm going to prepare for my fall classes pretty soon. So you guys are important to me. Your opinions are important. So that's an option. The second thing I want to mention before we go is there's a course evaluation in Blackboard. This is really important for students to do. It's a quick little 10-minute survey of the class, and it goes straight to the administration. You do not put your name in there, and I'm not going to see those results. So you get to this by, let me show you where it is on our, it's going to be, I wonder if I can get there through this. It's over here in our, do you guys see on the left side of the screen? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, yes, teacher.
Okay, you see where it says course evaluation?
Yes.
Yes, down here on the left side. If you guys could click on that and do that little survey, it takes about 10 minutes, and you have until August 6th, okay, which is next week. So you have a week and a half. If you could do that, that would be great. My boss would really appreciate that. Okay, it's just a little survey of the class and what worked for you and what didn't work. Okay, and the last thing on our What's Next tab is to talk about what's coming up. So this week you're doing chapter 7 and 8, and you're finishing your novel and reviewing vocabulary stuff. Remember, you've got your novel vocabulary quizzes. Those are going to be posted on Saturday. This Saturday, I'll post them in your folder. So you'll be able to see those and take those whenever you're ready. Okay, you have about 4 or 5 days to do those. And Thursday's video will be at 10 o'clock, and I will do chapters 9 and 12 if you want to join me here. Okay?
So I have a question.
Yes.
So the novel and vocabulary quizzes, That mean is the final test, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Those are your last assignments for the novel and vocabulary. This week, you're doing practice for the novel and vocabulary. And then on Saturday, I'm going to post the real quizzes, the quizzes that you have to take and turn in by next Tuesday. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes, teacher. Yes.
Okay, great.